Do you want to build your career as a system engineer and you want to know what exactly involved as part of system engineering career journey? So you will get all this information from this video. So let's see what is system engineering. So this is the brain map of your career as part of system engineering. So here I'm going to discuss first what is the prerequisite, what is system administration, and there is one more component which is cloud computing, but I'm going to cover it as part of separate topic. So let's say what is the prerequisite being a system engineer. So first one is about what are the basic softwares you need to know and DevOps basic. So let's explore these 2 points here right now. Okay. So as part of the software basics, you may need to know one programming language. It can be Python or it can be Java, right? Apart from that, you need to master one operating system, which is Linux or Windows OS. Suppose you are working on that Windows operating system, shell scripting or PowerShell scripting in case of Windows operating system. So you need to master some deeper level concept related with OS. You need to understand at least one RDBMS and SQL programming language. It could be on Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, or MS SQL. You need to understand the security concept really in a good way. Then networking concept you need to understand, and there are some hardware internals. So I have covered all this topic in more detail as part of the software engineering journey. So you can refer that video. Coming to the next part, which is about DevOps basic. Again, I'm going to cover more detail about DevOps as part of the DevOps engineering. But at high level, the common things which you need to know as part of the DevOps journey, which is SCM tool, that is Git, build and deployment tool, that is Jenkins, infrastructure automation tools, Docker, and some incident management tools like ServiceNow, task management tools like a Jira, where we manage project in an agile format. And there are some caching technology when it comes to the app level optimization, where we need to know something related with name, cache, and Redis. So these are again the things related with DevOps, whatever technologies I have mentioned, which are very specific, but you can learn something which is parallel to Git and Jenkins as well. So that is all about the basic path you need to know as part of your system engineering journey. Now moving on to the next part, which is system administration. So as part of system administration, you need to know all the networking concept like LAN, WAN, network devices, network health monitoring softwares, OS expertise. You by default need to achieve it. Maintain the system, maintaining the system and installing and debugging that system. So suppose you are working on database. So how to install that database, how to debug the issues related with that database, how to see the log. So that all information you need to understand. Evaluating new tools and technologies. So as part of network administrator, you may need to evaluate new technologies which are coming into the market and gauge their performance, and accordingly you can propose those solutions. System upgrade and migration strategy. This is very important. So every day new releases will come into the markets, even in case of OS. So we have CentOS 6, CentOS 7. So that new versions comes into the market and we may need to upgrade our system, and you need to decide that migration plan. Backup and recovery. This is very important activity as part of being system or network administration. Setting up firewall. This is very, very important task when you start your journey as a network engineer or system engineer. Apart from that, there are some network protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, SFTP, SSL, TLS, SSH, port forwarding, white and gray listing. So you need to understand all these things in order to make your system engineering more effective. Then apart from that, you may need to work on some email configuration. So in case of emails, we have SMTP, IMAPS, and POP3 protocols. So you need to understand them and you need to see which protocol is applicable while configuring email services or email server. Now coming to the next part, which is data administration. So when you are a system administrator, you can play the role of database administrator as well. So as part of data administration, as I told you, we need to understand database installation, its configuration. Again, backup and recovery strategy you need to manage. So in case of backup, we have snapshot backup, differential backup, transactional backup. So you need to configure and understand this concept as well. Disaster recovery strategy. So how to take a backup on some remote server, and even if one server goes down, you should be in a position to make things available. So disaster recovery and availability, these are very important things as part of your system engineering journey. Then performance monitoring, data replication strategy, storage management, access management. So when it comes to the access management, you may need to understand few concepts related with Kerberos, LDAP, SSO, how to configure SSO, capacity planning. So when you are working on database, particularly you need to take care of capacity planning. So if one disk fill up, so you need to onboard another disk, and you need to be very diligent in managing the overall capacity of your database server. Data security and framework planning. So how you are going to secure your data when it is at rest and when it is in a motion state, I mean over the internet. Then DB tuning parameter, troubleshooting, log monitoring, release management. Whenever new server, new upgrade and new versions comes into the picture, you need to define your update and upgrade strategy. Alert configuration and management. So this is very important part being an administrator, where you need to configure alert management system. Multi-tenancy environment. So how you are planning to configure when multiple users, multiple tenants are going to use your database. So you need to come up with that strategy. Job monitoring. So in case of job monitoring, we have various profiler in case of database. So all this profiler will track various queries running on that database. So this is all about database administration journey. Moving on to the next part, as part of the system engineering, where you may need to manage server or web server as part of administration. So in web server, you may need to configure production and non-production environment. Installing and upgrade by default, it will be there. Disaster recovery, system performance tuning, scheduling and installing scheduling installation and manage the downtime during that installation. So these are very primary activity as part of being web administrator. Incident resolution and its documentation. So documentation is always good when you play the role of system engineer, because you may come across similar kind of issues, and if you have a documented those things, then you can easily track down and fix those issues immediately. Examine, diagnose, and resolve the system problem. System support model. So generally, when you play the system administrator role, so you need to define your support level. So L1 is immediate support level, L2 is expert level, L3 is really someone who knows the whole system in a far better way. That time we go for L3 support. So generally the front end will be managed by the L1 and L2 support team, and then it is L3 team. And even suppose issues are not resolved by the in-house L3 team, which is expert team, you may need to contact with the actual product team as well to resolve that issue. Installation and configuration and management of OS level things, that is again very important part of being web server administrator, right? Then in case of web servers like Tomcat and JBoss, again we need to manage them as an application server also. So it is not just web application being deployed there, but some applications are also deployed, and you need to manage how to configure them. Installation and configuration of management of web servers, right? Apache, IIS. So already we talked about it. So another very important activity when it comes to the web server management, which is load balancing. So we have Nginx, HA proxy, KM load master, FI. These are some of the load balancer available right now in the market, but again, there are many more. Configuration common protocol, as we talk in the initial part, where we need to take care of all this protocol and their configuration. So that is the part of being your server or web administrator role as part of system engineering. So let's see another part which is security system administrator. So let's see what all things you need to know. So account access management means security part and monitoring that thing as part of the security protocol you need to take care of. Security and monitoring by default, it will be there. Remote user access. So how to give access to the remote user, that is biggest part being a system security engineer, right? Then Active Directory, whenever you configure your server, it is being configured as part of Active Directory. That user access is being managed by Active Directory protocol. So you need to understand that. Then authentication, authorization. So there are various types of authentication and authorization like OAuth, basic authentication, token authentication, JWT, JSON Web Token Authentication, OpenID. So you need to understand that. Another part which is cyber security. I'm going to cover more detailed information about cyber security topic under cyber security topic. Another important thing as part of system engineering, you need to understand network architecture. So there could be more and more complex network architecture, but this one very simple diagram I found and I included here as part of network architecture. So you can see here we have a common firewall, then that firewall connected with internet, and then again there is home driven firewall and some branch office firewall, and that way you can access various things via this router. There is an internal switch. That switch is connected to the file server, database server, printers, and that way all application server and backup servers, they are also connected. There is Wi-Fi, and via this router various devices are connected and they are communicating with each other. Apart from that, there is a wireless communication also in terms of mobile client and Wi-Fi clients, right? So this is some very basic architecture I included as part of network architecture, but there could be more complex things like gateway node where it is more capable to handle various security threats. So that way you need to design and understand your system administration role. So in short, if you want to be a system administrator, you need to have a proper understanding of at least that one operating system, networking concept. So if you really want to go that next level, accordingly, you need to understand that periphery and capture those particular technology and tools. So please include in the comment section as part of the system engineering, what type of skills you want to include as part into your portfolio. Thank you for listening.